And welcome back to Sports on Tap. It's our Ohio High School football coverage, the playoff edition, as we went over some of the semifinal games in the different divisions and regions. And now we're going to talk a little bit about our game of the week. I'm Rob Trent. We have Ed Dick, Josh Jeffy, Sean Duffy out on assignment. We're live from Studio J in Brunswick, Ohio. And, guys, it's been a fun year so far. You know, a few weeks left, but it's been a fun year. We've gotten out a lot this year. I want to thank really all the athletic directors that we've come in contact with, the players, coaches that have lent us some time after the games to let us bring our camera and interview them. And, you know, we've been on social media, and it's been an absolute blast this year so far.
I totally agree. It's been very fun. Again, very appreciative of the schools themselves, coaches, players, for letting us let us interview them after the games. Fans have been cool, and more importantly, we appreciate all the feedback that everyone out there who listen or follow us on social media. There's been a lot of positive feedback, so we appreciate it very much. Looking forward to continuing it during the winter sports seasons and into the spring, and then getting back at it next fall for football.
Any words? He looks like he's contemplating something over there.
I mean, I had 1 week.
Yeah.
You know, I got to, the last 10 weeks I've been spending with Brunswick, and last week I was able to get out, and you know, it's tremendous being able to observe the game from a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's when you're looking at it in a different way, you're obviously not rooting for one team to win over the other.
Right.
You know, you just see what you have and you just report on it, and you know, there's obviously you get to find some storylines within the games. You get to notice some trends that it's fun to talk about, and that's what you guys have done a tremendous job all year with the reporting, the videos, and the the write up. So I'm glad I was able to contribute a little bit to it, but most certainly between you two and the FNG who's not here. It's been a great addition to our repertoire, and we're looking forward to helping out and being and visiting other schools and doing the same thing there.
And kudos to the OHSAA for moving the Division I and Division II playoff games on Fridays. It's just awesome having it on Fridays, and those covering the games or those going to the games this Friday. I looked at the weather. Temperature is going to be close to 70 degrees. Not bad for regional final games in November.
That's crazy. No, do you know what is nice, especially on Saturdays when you have college football games, and a lot of people are ready for the college football seasons on Saturday. You have Friday night lights with high school football, Saturdays college, Sunday NFL. I mean, it's a perfect lineup, really.
Indeed.
All right, let's get to our game of the week. It was Week 12. And it was a fun game at Strongsville High School, Packatan Stadium. Number 7 Westlake took on number 6 Olmsted Falls. These two are very familiar with each other, playing in the Southwestern Conference. And the Bulldogs, they had the running game pretty much at the top, as they loved their triple option in this game, as they used Spencer the Hammer Linville as much as they could, and they used him effectively. It started with both teams, though, fumbling in the red zone, losing the ball each, actually, and missing opportunity to score early on. It was 0-0 after one quarter. And with both these teams, I mean, their offense usually is going to put up some points. So 0-0 after one quarter, we were a little surprised. But then it was Olmsted Falls who broke through first with an 8-yard touchdown run by Spencer the Hammer Linville, as Josh would nickname him on this day. He would score again, though, right away, making it 14-0 in the second quarter. Then it was receiver Josh Jakin. He scored on a 13-yard run, as he also was using a running back. He's normally a wide receiver. It was 21-0 at half. Olmsted Falls led this game, and I think some people were a little surprised. The Westlake offense really struggled a little bit in the first half, and I think you got to give credit to really Olmsted Falls. Their defense really threw some different coverages at Westlake and confused a very good Westlake offense. But eventually Westlake would start the second half with a Kadar Robinson 77-yard kickoff return, followed by a Trey Bylois 9-yard touchdown run. The kick was no good, though, and it was 21-6 the Bulldogs led. Then Olmsted Falls, they would answer right back with a Spencer Linville touchdown run. It was 28-7 or 28-6 at this point. Westlake, though, they would trade punches going right back with Kadar Robinson. He had a touchdown run, and then they got a 2-point conversion from Terrence Rose. That was from Trey Lois. It cut the Bulldogs' lead to 28-14. And at this point in time, they're down 14 points. They did trail 41-14 in against Holland Springfield, so you thought maybe the tides could turn. But Olmsted Falls really wasn't having it as they continued to have an answer, scoring with a Josh Jakin run, and the kick after was good. It was 35-14 in this game. And then it was Kadar Robinson. He would answer again for Westlake, scoring from 8 yards out. The score was 35-21, and that's as close as the Demons would get in this game. The Olmsted Falls Bulldogs just knew how to wear out the Westlake defense. Spencer Linville would score 2 more times as the Bulldogs would win 49-21. It advanced to play the number 4 seed White House Anthony Wayne. This will be played in Sandusky. And some of the stats in this game, first for Westlake, Kadar Robinson, what a great game he had. 15 rushes, 96 yards. He had a pair of touchdowns on the day. Trey Lois, he struggled a little bit, but 11 of 22, 147 yards. He did have a few interceptions. Terrence Rose, 4 receptions, 67 yards. Connor Sterneckert, who we really didn't talk about much in this game, give credit to Olmsted Falls defense, 3 receptions, 24 yards. And Robinson, also 2 receptions, 35 yards. For Olmsted Falls, now listen to these stats. You want to talk about, and we have a cool fact for you from one of the coaches on Olmsted Falls, Spencer Linville. He likes eating cheeseburgers before the game. Now, I don't know how he has endurance. He rushed the ball 41 times in this game for 244 yards, 5 touchdowns on the day. Brett Hooke, the quarterback, he rushed 7 rushes for 83 yards. Luke Lombardo, 10 for 48. Josh Jakin, 5 for 35 and 2 touchdowns. Olmsted Falls did not throw a pass in this game as, their triple option just was tough to figure out. But you knew when Spencer Linville had the ball, I'd like to see what his yards are after contact. I mean, he gets touched in the backfield, and he'll get 9 yards out of it. I mean, it's unbelievable. So congratulations to the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs as they win big 49-21. Again, Spencer Linville, if I had to give a player of the game, 41 rushes for 244 yards and 5 touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, and looking at that, I mean, pretty much we talked to Coach DeLuca after the game, and he really prides himself and his team on being physical, and they were definitely physical to the point where they were almost running at will, and Westlake could not stop it. There was fans in the Westlake side of the stands that were getting real antsy and getting real irritated with the Westlake coaches, but there just wasn't anything that Westlake can do to stop that. They didn't bust a lot of big runs, just a couple of games before for Solon and Medina. It seemed like Thomas Wilkes, busting 4 runs of over 40 yards for touchdowns. There was none of that in this game. This was pretty much knock them down, drag them out, kind of an old school style football game. And basically Olmsted Falls just out-muscled Westlake. And Westlake was able to get back into it starting the second half. Yeah. And that's where the physicalness went to the defensive side, where they were, for Olmsted Falls, they were able to make stops and kind of cut the offensive game for Westlake down. But when you have a running game like you do for Olmsted Falls, you're breaking big chunks of time off that clock. So pretty much Westlake, it came down to not having enough time to really move and get ahead and win the game.
Yeah, I think that's the tough thing when you play an Olmsted Falls team. If they get up by 20 points, it's tough for a team to come back because they continually run the ball, and then they wait. The clock just goes down. They have solid drives of 10, 12 plays. They start at their 10-yard line, they go all the way down. They take almost 7-8 minutes, almost a whole quarter, off the clock. So give credit. Also, we got to give credit to Coach Pace, with Olmsted Falls. I mean, what a job he did defensively. Westlake, their offense can put up some points. I mean, they still put up 21 points, but they really had to fight for those 21 points. And Trey Lois, he had an unbelievable season. this year, and so did all of Westlake. Kadar Robinson with a huge game, Terrence Rose, and give credit to the other players on Westlake. Defensively, B. Lozer we talked about, and other players as well. But a great season by Westlake. Let's give credit to them for having a good year. But Olmsted Falls really figured it out with their triple option, and it was played to perfection.
Yeah, but when you run that offense the way it's supposed to be run, it's tough to stop. And a team like Westlake, they do have the guns to come back and come back from that. However, when your offense is on the field for maybe 3-4 plays at a time, and you're not giving that defense enough time to rest up, it turns into a long day for the defense. And Spencer Linville even talked about it after the game where he's mentioning I'm ready. I can take the ball 50 times, and coming fourth quarter, I'm still going strong. The defense is not, and you saw that with just the amount of carries that he had, and just how he was able to continue to dictate the game, along with then you had the speed of Brett Hutke, being able to offset any other all the power that Linville had brought. And it's a very uncharacteristic game for Bialowas. It's not very often where he doesn't throw a touchdown, and like you said, credit to the Olmsted Falls defense for finding a way to stop him and Sterneckert all night.
Yeah, it was, and you look at Spencer Linville. He's 5'8", 245 pounds. But this guy, his endurance just impressed me. And you talk about Jason Hall. He actually said that Linville has really quick feet and is an athletic big guy, for running the ball. But more importantly, his endurance was impressive to me. The way he rushed for a bigger guy, he does not get tired. He doesn't want to come out of the game, and he said, "Just keep feeding me."
There was a couple parts of that game where Spencer got up from like his fourth or fifth run in a row, tapping the helmet, needed a breather, probably get another cheeseburger on the sidelines. But that's what the Hammer needs to do. So the Hammer did it well. Again, we appreciate him and Coach DeLuca taking the time after that game, taking some time away from celebrating with the team and the fans and speaking well. That you can see that video on NEOSportsInsiders.com. You could also see it on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, facebook.com/sportsontap. And as usual, follow us on Twitter at SOT Podcast because we post everything there as well.
Perfect. But we'll talk more playoff football now. We'll just go over some of the matchups going around in the playoff right now. You look at some of the teams, and we don't talk about all these teams sometimes, but we did talk about these guys. Hudson at Warren G. Harding at Twinsburg. That's going to be a really good game. Like you said, Hudson's defense, they don't need to score a lot. Sometimes they can score a lot of points, and other times they don't need to, like they did this week. Olmsted Falls at Anthony Wayne. That's at Sandusky Perkins. Again, that's a 7:30 game. All these games at 7:30. St. Ignatius and St. Edward. That's at Bedford Bearcat Stadium. That's at 7:30. Then you have Lorraine at Olentangy Liberty. That's at Mansfield Madison. That should be a good matchup. In Lorraine, we didn't talk about them very much, but they're an athletic team. They can air it out, run the football, just athletic all around. They have some really good athletes out there, so congratulations to them. Going down the line, let's look at some of the other matchups.
We got Division I, Region 3, Huber Heights Wayne, the number 3 seed, 11-0-1. I'm not sure how you get a tie in high school football, but good for them. They're going to take on the number 3 seed, Pickering High School Central. Also, they are 11-1 as well. That will take place at London High School at Friday night at 7:30. And then in Region 4, the Cincinnati District, you have Cincinnati Sycamore, the number 7 seed, 8-4, going to go against the number 7 seed, St. Xavier, 7-5. That game will be at Hamilton High School. That will take place Friday night at 7:30.
Some familiar names we're used to seeing there.
Indeed. In Division II, Region 7, Massillon Perry, the number 1 seed. They are looking for a return trip to the state championship. 10-2. They are going to take on New Albany, the number 3 seed, at 9-3. That game will be at Mansfield Senior High School, Arlen Field, Friday night at 7:30. So we got we got the number 1 seed still hanging around in that bracket, and then in Region 8 where Vandalia, old from where Duffy's alma mater resides, you have Miamisburg, the number 4 seed. They are 10-2. They're going to take on Cincinnati LaSalle, the number 3 seed. They are also 10-2. This game will be Friday night at 7:30. Kickoff is from Mason High School.
I also got to give a shout-out to we are in Division 6, Region 21, Cuyahoga Heights. They will face Kirtland. I work in Cuyahoga Heights. A lot of community support going out for that team as they are the number 1 seed, 12-0 in Division 6, Region 21. They will face the number 3 seed, Kirtland, this Friday at Solon, 7:30. Again, driving through, going into work, seeing a lot of community support for that. And that's what you get when you get in this deep in the playoffs, a lot of community support. So I got to give a shout-out to Cuyahoga Heights as they go on this Friday.
We got another local matchup, Division 4, Region 13, and the number 1 seed, Perry. They are 12-0. They're going to take on number 7, Notre Dame Cathedral Latin at 9-3. NDCL, coming off what most would consider an upset. They took out the number 3 seed, Youngstown Cardinal Mooney.
Wow.
A traditional power down from the Youngstown area.
Oh, yeah.
You might know them from the Stoops brothers, the
big time.
Bo Pelini, all sorts of prominent college coaches came from that specific school. So congratulations to the Lions, and they're gonna a nice local matchup there. That game will be 11-18. It'll be Friday night. Kickoffs at 7:30 from the JTO in Mentor.
Warren John F. Kennedy at St. Paul. This is actually in Strongsville at 7 p.m. on Saturday. So if you don't have plans and want to go see a good high school football game, go to Strongsville Pat Catan Stadium. It's a great place. That's where we were just at. A great place to really watch a football game there. It's Warren John F. Kennedy at St. Paul. So that should be a good, fun game to watch.
And then one more, a local school here in Medina County, Sullivan Black River. They were the runner-up to Buckeye in the Patriot Athletic Conference Stars Division. They did win their first-round matchup against Grand Valley. They did run into the buzzsaw that is the Canton Central Catholic. I believe they're the Crusaders out there. They lost 30-0. That game was played at Orville High School. Black River just wasn't able to get that triple option of the wing tee that they run off on track. And Canton Central Catholic is a traditionally tremendous school down in that area. So they're actually going to then take on Garfield, the number 8 seed, and that game's going to be Saturday night at 7 p.m. That's going to kick off from Uniontown Lake High School. So congratulations to the Black River Pirates.
Yeah, they had a great year
on their season. Absolutely. I mean, we did we did head out there to watch their game against Buckeye in week 7. If you guys didn't check out that video, make sure you do. 2 of the smaller schools in the area that we cover,
but very physical.
Absolutely.
Holy cow, man! They can hit. Black River, them and Buckeye, that game was a hard-hitting game. It wasn't a crazy high-scoring game like we thought it might be, but both defenses came to play, and very impressive season. They got their first playoff win, so congratulations to Black River.
Indeed, and I'll do one more shout-out here. This will
Sure.
be Division 5, Region 18. The number 1 seed, Creston Norwayne Bobcats. They are going to take on Edison. Both teams are 11-1. That game's going to take place at Medina High School Saturday night at 7 p.m. Norwayne, you may remember them from a couple of years ago. They did win the state championship here recently, and we talk a little whenever we do talk about Wayne County football. Norwayne is usually at the forefront of that. So they had a 28-21 victory last week over Swanton. Edison won 28-7 over Eastwood. So it sets up this 1-3 matchup between the Bobcats and Edison. So good luck to both teams there.
Yeah, and Edison's a smaller school, but they do play teams out of the Patriot Athletic Conference for their non-conference. Play teams like Wellington and Black River and some teams like that. So they play some tough schools, a good school to go watch. That'll be a great game out at Medina High School. Well, any last comments, guys? Just a great, week of playoffs coming up, and continually gets better each week. But starting to wind down. Soon we'll be talking about the championship games coming up.
Yes, we will be talking about that next Monday night, so make sure you tune in at 7:30 as we will discuss all the regional final games, and we will preview the upcoming
the state semifinals.
State semifinal games. So.
Yeah, we do have out of our coverage teams here, we do have 2 teams left still. The Hudson Explorers representing Division II Region 5, and then of course the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs representing Division II Region 6. So hopefully if things go well, we might have a head-to-head matchup there to discuss.
That would be fun.
Come next week.
That would be a lot of fun, and good luck to really all the teams out there that are still battling in the playoffs. It's been a great year. Again, thanks to everyone for listening and also contributing to our shows by sending us stats. We get a lot of stats from all different high schools, and it really helps our coverage. So thank you for being a part of our show. We really appreciate it. And also retweeting our stuff and getting us out there on Twitter and Facebook. Really appreciate that as well from all the fans and listeners. Well, I don't know if they're fans of us, but they're listeners.
They are. They're followers.
They sure are. Any last thoughts or comments?
Good luck to all the teams.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
All right. For Ed Dick, Josh Jeffy, Sean Duffy, who's in Florida, I'm Rob Troutman. Saying so long for Sports on Tap. Thanks for listening. Good luck, everyone. Have a great week.